right, well, with you having this existential crisis, we're going to start. So welcome to the Nerd Spectrum podcast. Daisy's currently having a panic attack, and I'm enjoying myself
because I'm wasting my time right now.
Okay, that hurts a little bit.
I could be doing something. I could be working on my shit right now.
No, because I'm pretty clingy when I get home from work, so if
I could be working on my shit right now. I have 3 grenades to make.
You make it sound like we were building a bomb.
I'm not building a bomb. They're made out of foam. They can't hurt anybody, but they're gonna look cool.
After you, what's it called? Not plastic dip them, but after you Mod Podge them and if you throw them at somebody, I'm sure the spikes would hurt a little bit. Hit them in the face.
They're not supposed to have spikes. That's my point. That's why I'm freaking out, because they're not supposed to look like that.
Okay, well, then I'm pretty confused. Anyway, so yeah, so the reason we're not going to do spoilers for this, we're doing... You
didn't even say that we're not doing spoilers.
I just said we're not doing spoilers.
For me, they don't know.
That's what I'm saying. I'm getting into it, you know. We did a cold open with your panic attack, and now we're going to get into the topic, because this is kind of funny.
It's not funny.
So, the Russos... I think they tweeted out, or they posted it somewhere. They're like, don't do spoilers until Monday. So we're going to do our review Saturday.
Yes, I did see that.
Because I feel like, you know, like, Saturday, it's fine. Like, Sunday moviegoers are a thing. But, like, I understand that a lot of people probably could not get their tickets Friday, Saturday, Sunday opening weekend. Like, it made $1.2 billion worldwide. But, like, there's no way in hell everybody could see it at once. So that's fine. Giving it a week for people to see is cool.
Their stuff. Okay, we respect the directors, I guess.
Well, we're still doing it 2 days before they say do it, but whatever.
I mean, whatever.
So what we're going to be doing is we're going to go down our rankings of all 22 Marvel films, and that includes Endgame minus the spoilers.
Are we going backwards or upwards? We're starting at our absolute favorite?
We're starting at our absolute least favorite.
Okay, great.
We're doing we'll do our list 22 to 11. Or 22 to 12, because that's 11, right?
Okay, and then...
so our bottom half and then our top half.
Okay.
What a weird number, right?
I feel like our, least favorites are definitely going to be similar, because, well, we'll see.
No, there's a few that I think...
See, but, I know that there's, some that are going to be down there that are, everybody likes them, and I know you don't, but, I don't either.
That's true.
So, I feel like they're going to be pretty similar. I think it's once it gets to, top 10, that's when we're going to start yelling at each other. Always.
I think I told you my top 5 on accident earlier this week, but I also don't think you remember them.
I most certainly do not.
Yeah, so just your face after I said that when you're trying to remember.
I also feel like I'm very predictable, so I'm sure you know what my top 5... Well, maybe.
I probably know what your top 5 are.
I'm sure you know what my top 1 is, for sure.
But really quick, before we also get into it, so I wrote out these phases when before Endgame came out, and I was like, all right, what movies do we own so I can just start marathoning?
Sure.
So...
As you do.
Phase 1, for everybody that's not up to, the phases, or that isn't just, as informed on where, the breaks are in this.
Oh, before this, though, I Googled the list of all the movies because I was like, I'm going to forget if I don't write them all down and then make my list. Mm-hmm. And
did you find the timeline?
No, oh no, I don't people are like, do I watch it in the order that they were released or the order that it takes place? And I don't like that the chronological order,
because it gets weird, right?
Because it gets weird and it's hard because there's a lot of movies that are happening at the exact same time, so it's how are you supposed to
Well, all of phase 1 is Furious.
Yeah, I get it, but I don't like it. Anyways, no, because I Wikipedia'd it and it was there's phases, obviously, but then the whole thing is called the Infinity Saga, and I was like, that's fucking badass.
Yeah, that's how
didn't think about it.
That's how they're sending out their box set right now. It's the Infinity Saga and the gauntlets on it. So
I'm spending the $200-$300 to get that.
Cool, because I'm gonna do the same thing with Game of Thrones. So phase 1,
okay,
otherwise known as Fury's Big Week, is Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Incredible Hulk, that we don't talk about.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2.
It's not Mark Ruffalo, so we don't care.
Thor, Captain America, the First Avenger, and then Avengers. I think there's a lot of good movies in Phase 1. I know you probably don't. Phase 2, well, okay, going off my list, you probably wouldn't think so, depending on how it falls. Or if you average them out, I think it works. Phase 2, a lot of good movies. Iron Man 3, half of Phase 2 is good. What happened? Alright, we had slight technical errors, but we're back. We're fine. I honestly don't think it was anything. The later half, Phase 2 is really good. Captain America, Winter Soldier, Guardians of the Galaxy, Volume 1, Avengers, Age of Ultron, Ant-Man. It's kind of a hit or miss, depending on who you ask. Finally, Phase 3 has double, almost double of these, I think. What is it, 6 and 6? And then 3. Yeah, it almost has double. Captain America Civil War, strong start. Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, Black Panther, Avengers Infinity War, Ant-Man and the Wasp, Captain Marvel, and Endgame. It's a lot of movies.
It is.
So, I'm going to let you go first for your, 22 through 12? Is that what we agreed on?
22 through 12.
Are you good on that? How did you write yours? I always write my list top down. So I start 22 at the top, and my favorite is always at the bottom. You start at number 1 at the top?
1, 2, 3, 4. Like, I number it like a normal person.
I showed my list to Nick too, and he was like, "Why do you write it like that?" And
because
I was like,
you're weird. I don't understand you.
I don't know.
No,
It's just...
you go 1, 2, because it's easier to like be like, oh yeah, I love this the most, and then go down.
You think so?
Then be like, this is what I hate the most, and then like, I don't know. That's just. I mean, at some point in the middle, I'm kind of like, I don't feel a certain way towards any of these movies. I guess I'll just put them here.
I believe that. Well, because I had that issue too, so I understand.
There's also a lot of movies, so it's like hard. I have so much paint on my hands.
I bet I know what your 22 is. Can I guess it before you say it?
Sure.
Incredible Hulk.
Well, of course.
Okay. I don't know what your 21 is. Honestly, at that point, it's a shot in the dark because, like, okay, can I assume it's Iron Man 2?
It is!
20 is Iron Man 3?
Yeah, wow, you're like right now.
Oh, okay, so now it's that. See, now it gets hard for me because I don't know.
Because now you're like, but which one?
The bottom 3 are, for us, are almost the same. I'm going to assume Dark World.
No.
Wow. Is it Thor? Is it Iron Man?
19?
Yeah.
Thor.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I'll let you go now because I don't think I'll keep hitting these.
You're going to keep missing them. Okay, yeah. 19's Thor. 18 is the first Iron Man.
Wow. That's low. Okay.
I don't like it.
What? We'll get it. Why don't you like it?
I just don't care for...
Tony?
Yeah.
At all?
I mean, like... Not like I...
In the first movie... Well, kids like...
It's not like I hate him or anything, but, like, he's just not my favorite character. I don't... Like, if I was gonna sit down and watch a Marvel movie, I would never just be like, yeah, I'm gonna watch one of the Iron Mans. Like, I would have to be like... You would have to be like, I'm gonna watch the Iron Man, and then I'm just sitting here and I'm forced to watch it. Or, like, someone else is like, let's watch Iron Man. I'm
or
like,
marathon.
all right. Yeah, like, I would never go out of my way to watch any of the Iron Mans.
Iron Man.
Sure.
Plural.
17. Hot take. Black Panther.
Okay. That doesn't surprise me.
Okay. 16. Thor: The Dark World. 15.
That is so much lower than I thought it would be.
Like, it was good, but it wasn't that good.
No, I mean, like, it's closer.
Higher?
Yeah, it's higher than I thought it would be.
You said the wrong word.
I got it mixed up.
You're confusing.
Why is that so high?
Because I liked it better than the movies below it. Like, that's how lists work. Jorge, come on.
Okay, if you say so, man.
15 is Doctor Strange.
Okay.
14 is Ant-Man and the Wasp.
Okay.
13, also another hot take, the first Avengers.
Okay, whatever. Keep going.
12 is Homecoming.
You piece of shit! Oh my god! No! You're not my wife. Do you even know what feelings are? Do you know what love is? Do you know loyalty?
Listen, I like it. I like Spider-Man. I like Tom Holland. That movie was good, but it's not like something that's gonna blow me out of the water. Like, yes, I will. Like, over the other ones, like, I would be like, go on Amazon, like, watch it, because we have it. I think it's funny. I like it. But, like...
You've lost your heart of a child. Like, you don't know what childish wonder is.
Oh my god.
Okay.
Whatever, you go.
Our list has some similarities.
Butthole.
In the majority of them that are at the bottom. However, I know there's one you're already going to be like, what the fuck? And maybe, like, I think there's two, actually. So... Sure. Like I said, our bottom 3 started the same, essentially. Incredible Hulk. It's not because it's bad. It doesn't matter in the long run.
Yeah,
It introduces you to Hulk.
Nothing about it is, like, good.
And Thunderbolt Ross. That's it. Because he shows up in Civil War and, he's, like... It really doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Iron Man 2, I absolutely hate that movie. But if I'm comparing what they contribute to the overall story, Iron Man 2 does contribute because you get War Machine. And also, I love to hate Justin Hammer. His douche, rival in the tech company. Fucking hilarious. I love that dude. He's such an ass. He's such a tool. And it's just like...
What I've learned through the years is that you really just love assholes. And I don't understand.
I love people that you hate because it's just too funny not to. You know what I mean?
I don't get that. Like, why do you want a character...
When Tony calls him out and he's like, oh, look, Justin Hammer's like about 5,000 years behind everybody else. And he pulls up the screen where Hammer made his own, like, Iron Man suit. And he breaks that dude's spine. And it's just like... What?
You're so strange. Okay.
It's funny. 20 is Thor: The Dark World. That movie was trash. I don't get why it is so high on your list, honestly. Nothing about it was fantastic.
I mean, I feel like, people really shit on it, but it's not that bad.
It did have one, like, the best moment for me, because, I can't stress enough how much I just don't think about movies. When Loki cuts off Thor's arm and stabs him and throws him to Malekith, like, in the Dark Elf's world... I was like, what the hell is going on? This movie just got so much darker. Oh my god.
I just feel like that's when Thor started to get, like, actually funny.
Did it?
Like, a little bit.
I don't remember. There were funny moments. There were more funny moments in it that compared to, like, the first one. Like, I get what you mean, but, like, Thor himself was not, like...
funny.
As funny as I thought. Like, the funniest moment was when he puts Mjolnir on the key holder.
Yeah,
for me.
But it's just like, I don't know. That's just kind of when I was like, yes, I can see where you're going now.
Because Thor's always been funny, when they're like, Loki's my brother, so take care of the words you say about him. And she's like, he's killed like 80 people in 2 days, and he's like, well, he's adopted. So like,
I love that. That's always his thing. We're like, well, we're not really related, but he's still my brother.
Can't bail on family. All right, 19, Iron Man 3. Iron Man 3 is not that bad. I loved his scenes with the kid, with Harley.
Sure.
It was so funny. Gives him a anxiety attack just by talking about New York. 18 for me was Thor. I liked the magic. It introduced Hawkeye. I liked Loki's, like, roots. Like, that's where he starts. I like seeing all that. 17 is where we're going to disagree hard. Captain Marvel.
Okay.
Do you want to argue about it now or later?
I mean, I have my opinions, and I get why it would be lower on some people's lists.
Okay. I have thought about it a lot. Especially the Jan Rog scene where he is like, all right, Danvers, or Veers, because why learn an entire person's name when their dog tag says 3 letters, or 4 letters? Mm-hmm. I thought about it, right? And I also saw either the writer or the director. Somebody made a gif of Jan Rog, with his fists up and, like, screaming at her or whatever. But they replaced the words that he speaks with, all right, debate me then. And then it's, like, get shot down, right? Or she photon blasts him.
Sure.
And he's like, I just destroyed you. My words completely triggered you. Ha, loser. And it's, like, him and, like, the rocks. But it's, like, every internet troll ever. So I thought about that a lot. Or that, like, gif made me think a lot. And it's, like, it's not that I don't like Danvers as a character. I love Captain Marvel. I kind of like her cool, calm, collected, like, she's sort of like Captain America minus, like, the old time. She's future Captain America because she's been training, like, ever since she got her powers to be this elite squadron that hunts down people that hide as other people. So like, she's like a complete badass, and I have no issue with that. My issue is the storytelling. I hate the way they told the story through this movie. I hated the weird flashbacks of her just, like, crashing down and crashing down and crashing down. I think if they focused in on Jan Rog always emphasizing that she feels the need to prove herself to him throughout her years of training, it would have been a better story. But I don't like that it showed, like, her as, like, a 6-year-old that crashes her go-kart and her dad yelling at her, or, like, her being in the military and crashing and then, drill sergeants getting on her. Overall, it really didn't contribute because she didn't know who she was back then. Mm-hmm. But if they focused on who she knew she was whenever, they took her to the Kree homeworld, I think it would have made a better story.
Sure.
So that's really my biggest problem with it.
Okay.
It's just the way they went about the story. I like the 90s stuff. I like the blockbuster. I liked the I'm Just a Girl beatdown.
Yeah.
Like, oh, that was fun. I love the Flurkin. I love Goose. Such a cute cat. And then people mad about how Fury lost his eye. I love that too.
Okay.
Yeah. So 16 is Doctor Strange.
Okay.
I don't remember what that was on your list.
It was 15.
Okay, so we're pretty close. 15 is Black Panther. That was your 17.
Yeah.
I think it's overhyped. I think if you want to talk about it now, I think it's overhyped. This was the first movie that I was like, it's too predictable. Like, the unpredictability would have been like Killmonger scenes, but as far as like T'Challa's concerned, when they go to the what is it, Umbari, Jabari?
I don't know.
When they go to M'Baku and his tribe.
The tribe.
Yes, I think it's Jabari. The gorillas. Or that's their tribal sign, right?
I don't know. Why do you think I remember? We saw this movie one time.
I watched this movie like 3 times. For the Schmodown. I had to study.
I watched it once.
I got this question right in the fucking Schmodown. I can't remember it now. Okay, whatever. When they went to M'Baku's tribe and, T'Challa was there and blah, 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 I was like, well, that's not a surprise. Now they're playing into tropes. Like, the conclusion I wasn't about it. The war rhinos were cool. Their
technology is cool.
Their entire city was dope as hell.
Hell yeah.
The Vine references.
Oh my god, yes.
What are those?
Honestly, me.
Yeah, it was a good movie. I just thought, like, it played by the beat, and I didn't like that about it. I think that...
Yeah, it was just your regular old superhero movie.
Yeah. And it was the first one that I was, like, really like, oh, this is, like, it's falling into tropes. And, like, predictability is not something I want in a Marvel movie.
Sure.
So that's why it's kind of low for me. Not as bad as Captain Marvel. 14's Iron Man. The original.
Okay. That's kind of high in my opinion.
Well, that's because you don't like the character.
Yeah.
Tony's super flawed. Like, he's the most flawed character in all these movies. But it's the original. You gotta give it its respect. It does hold up. It's not terrible. Mm-hmm. When he comes back from the war and he's like, I want a Whopper. It's like, yeah, sure, go.
Same. I too want cheeseburgers constantly.
But yeah, Iron Man wasn't terrible. It's not as bad. It holds up. There's also like a weird callback. I don't know if you realize this. I didn't realize it till I started rewatching them for Endgame. In Avengers, when Pepper's like, Agent Coulson or Phil to Coulson, he's like, why is he Phil? That's Agent. It's because I don't think Coulson ever actually introduced himself by his name. Mm-hmm. And Tony always neglected learning his name too because he didn't want to give him the time of day. Mm-hmm. Because in the first one, in the credits, he's just referred to as Agent. And in the second one, he's the babysitter, but I don't think Tony's around him enough to actually learn his name. He kind of just pops up and he's like, you're not allowed to leave the premise or I'll zap you. And then he's like, I have a thing in Arizona, and that's when Thor takes place. Mm-hmm. So that was like, it's a cool little callback. I don't know. That's weird. Something I noticed later. 13's Ant-Man and the Wasp, and 12 is Ant-Man. I don't think Ant-Man and the Wasp succeeded Ant-Man. So they're both pretty close, but they both made me laugh. I love Louise. I love the Russian dude who's anytime something crazy happens, he's like, it's the Baba Yaga, or it's like,
my god, yeah,
it's like witchcraft. So I really do love the movies. I love the end credits for Ant-Man and the Wasp, the ant that's just playing Rock Band because that's all it knows now that everybody's dead. Mm-hmm. To just go and do its content. Yeah, that's my 22 through
I was like, what did I say?
12.
I don't know. I put Ant-Man higher up on my list.
I understand. It's funny. It's a good movie.
It's funny. It's a good one. I thought it was interesting. Or, like, something new.
It was small scale.
It's just something new because, like, Scott's not a superhero. He's a criminal. So, like,
and
you
a
get
dad.
and a dad.
He's trying to get his life together, man, for his
kid. But, sometimes it doesn't work out. But it's just, like, it's more of a, like, it's kind of like if you were just thrown into this world.
like a Spider-Man, maybe?
Oh my god, shut up. No. Oh. Spider-Man has powers. He has responsibilities.
He's an MIT tech graduate. Or an MIT electrical engineer. He's super intelligent.
Okay, yeah.
And Baskin Robbins always finds out.
No, but I just mean he's like a regular person.
Yeah, I guess.
And like he's like thrown into the superhero world kind of just like Not by chance, because he did use his skills to get the
His
opportunity.
cat burglar skills.
Yeah, but it's like that's not what he would be doing with his life if it wasn't for that scenario happening.
Okay. So if it wasn't,
like, you know,
that great scene where Luis is like, "So how do
Explaining
you know?
all of it?
How do you know we didn't let you think that we stole it from you?"
Yeah,
And it's just like,
he's great. I love him.
Yeah. All right. So you're 11 through 1.
Oh right. Okay.
Wait, are there any others you want to talk about? Were there any with like other? Your Homecoming's too low, but we'll talk about that later.
I mean, I don't want to talk about bad movies.
Ouch. That's cold. That's so cold. Doctor Strange wasn't bad.
It's not bad, but I was kind of like bored.
Yeah, it's not very memorable. The villain's not very memorable. It's set up
like
for a better
the
villain.
magic is really cool, and I like that.
They got very Inception-y.
And like overall in the comics, I really like Doctor Strange. But I guess it's more of like it was like super origin story.
Oh, so there's finally an origin story that's too origin story for you?
It's just like, I don't know. I guess just because like I kind of already know because of the comics that I'm like, I don't need all of this anymore.
Okay.
So it was kind of just like, all right, like let's get to like the cool magic shit and like you protecting New York. Like that's what I want. Like
how elitist
team
of
up,
you.
like team up with Spider-Man and shit. Like let's fucking do that.
So
instead.
like the Thor Ragnarok teaser.
Exactly. Yeah. Like that's more of like the Doctor Strange movie I would want.
Right.
Than like, but I get like he's not super
That was-
popular. People don't know who he is. Like
That was the end credit, wasn't it?
it was the end credit and then it was in the movie.
I thought it was just at the very end. I thought there was the Baron Mordo thing where he goes and takes the magic from that guy that told Strange about Carmitage. And then, you remember? Who's like this, that he learned the Ancient One was using dark magic to live for so long. And then he's like, no, we're corrupting magic. So he goes back to the guy that was like miraculously healed himself.
No.
Okay, whatever. I do remember the end credits of Thor showing up and he's like, so Earth has wizard now. And it's just like, set up Ragnarok brilliantly.
Yes.
All right. I don't think there's anything else then that you'd want to talk about.
No, I don't think so.
Because you don't care for the Thors. You don't care for the Iron Man.
Definitely don't. Everything else, I think we kind of touched on.
All right. So you're 11 through 1.
Okay, so 11 is Guardians Volume 2.
That's surprisingly low.
Yeah, I figured it would be. Or like you would think that.
For you, yeah. You
Yes.
love that movie. You watched it on Netflix like 3 days ago.
No, I didn't.
Kicking right now.
The table slightly. I was on accident. No, I didn't.
We watched it like last week.
No, you put it on.
I thought you put it on.
No, you put it on. I put on Thor Ragnarok twice.
Okay. So then I clearly know where Thor is.
Yeah.
It's top 5.
It's a good movie. Okay, we're getting there. Guardians Volume 2. 10 is Captain America, the First Avenger.
Okay.
9 is Winter Soldier.
That's so low. Okay, keep going.
8 is Ant-Man.
Okay.
7 is Captain Marvel.
So 10 away from mine.
It's out there. 6 is Age of Ultron.
That's super high.
You think so?
Well, I'm assuming you like it so much because of the introduction of Quicksilver and Scarlet Witch.
I do. I love them very much.
Okay, so, like,
I'm
I
very
get it.
biased towards the X-Men, even though they're not technically X-Men.
Critically speaking, it's not the best. Like, it's usually in the lower half. Of...
I don't know, man. I liked it. I enjoy it. We watch it often enough.
People make a lot of fun make fun of Aaron Taylor-Johnson. You didn't see that coming a lot.
Okay, well, he's gorgeous and beautiful, so everyone can suck my butt.
If you say so. I like him better as Kick-Ass.
Yeah. I like his curly hair.
Okay, keep going.
5 is Infinity War.
Okay.
Okay.
I don't really have words for that.
I thought you were gonna say something.
No, that's fine.
Okay, 4 is Endgame.
Okay.
3 is the first Guardians.
That's really high.
I really like that movie. 2 is Ragnarok.
Is one Civil War?
Yeah.
What? I'm surprised by that.
That is by far my absolute favorite Marvel movie of all time.
Okay, so we'll go through my list and then we'll talk about why. Because I honestly didn't think Civil War would be that high for you.
Really?
I thought it would be top.
I'm literally, like, see, now I feel like you don't pay attention to me because I am constantly saying that that's my favorite movie.
See, but I also thought Ragnarok would beat it out because it's so fucking funny.
It's so funny.
Like, that movie is stupid funny.
Yeah, but I had to think about it. You know, if someone just on the street just randomly, like, put a microphone in my face and was like, what's your favorite Marvel movie? I'd automatically say Civil War.
I think you should say Homecoming, but sure.
No. Sorry.
All right, so my 11 is Captain America: The First Avenger. Our lists are pretty close. There's like a few off things. 10 for me is Age of Ultron, which I also think people... Well, actually, no. Since Captain America: The First Avenger made your top, I'm kind of surprised by that.
My top 10?
Yeah, well,
just in general?
The upper
the top half?
Yeah. Why? Like, why for you?
Are you, like, that surprised?
I'm not that surprised, but, like... Well, first off, I know you like origin stories, and I know you like period stuff.
I do,
so,
I do.
Like, that explains it.
I don't know, I just...
But,
I do like origin stories, but, like, the difference between Captain America's origin story and Doctor Strange is, like, there's more heart to it.
Because that's
There's
Steve.
more, like, struggle.
There's more of America's ass.
Exactly. I love America's ass.
Yeah.
There's like more like substance to it, and then like in like Doctor Strange, it's kind of just like, you know, he's like an arrogant
prick.
Yeah, and then like his world gets destroyed because his hands get destroyed and he can't be a surgeon anymore, and like that's his reasoning for this. But like that all happens like relatively really fast in the beginning of the movie, and like when you watch Captain America, I feel like it's like the first half him going through boot camp and like getting the serum and like just being a monkey in the show instead of actually going out and fighting like what he wants, and then the second half is him like actually going out and kicking ass.
I do like that. I do find it funny that it's sort of like monkey in the show, and then they ship him off to Europe, which is like the worst idea ever, because all he's wanted to do
is be over there,
be overseas to fight.
And also, like, why would you want to show it to like soldiers who are like, I'm actually fighting and possibly dying, and you're just
this dude dressed up in Star Spangled gear.
Yeah, and I really like that first costume.
It's really just a costume, isn't it? It's not really. It's
not
armor or anything.
Yeah, no, but I really like how it looks.
Because eventually he just wears a leather jacket over it. He's not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
He's not protected in any way.
Which bites him in the ass in Winter Soldier, because he gets shot.
Well, you know, we learn and we grow.
Okay, so 10 is Age of Ultron.
Mm-hmm.
I know critically it's bad. I understand why it's bad. But I love James Spader as Ultron. And I love that he's a perfect reflection of Tony. He's all that arrogance. He's all that sass put in one mega violent robot.
Yeah, I love him.
Also, I like the weird philosophical father-son thing at the end with the Vision. At the end. I know you like the joke where he's like, well, I was born yesterday.
Oh, I love that joke.
I like Vision's like optimism at the end, outshining Ultron's like nihilistic view on the world.
Being optimistic and being like, well, maybe they can figure their shit out. Let's not destroy them right now. Which
I don't know if they ever actually do, but we'll get into that Saturday.
Okay.
9, Guardians of the Galaxy.
The first one?
The first one. And then 8, we'll do a double whammy. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2.
I'm sorry, okay, what? You like Volume 2 better than Volume 1?
We're
about to fight.
I really love Rocket's arc.
In the second one?
Yes. Because you get... First off, we'll start with the first one. The first one really gets me because of the We Are Groot moment.
Sure, obviously.
Breaks my heart seeing Rocket cry.
Yeah.
I tear up. Every time.
The dance battle at the end, amazing.
See, but that's the thing, is it focuses so much on Quill that I'm like, eh.
And the second one doesn't?
It focuses on his daddy issues, but everybody has an arc in the second one that's a little more fleshed out, minus Drax. That's a little more fleshed out than in the first one. In the first one, it's more about like them coming together and being a family. But you see the family problems in the second one, and that's what I find more relatable. Like Rocket is kind of, he's not a teenager, but he's going through a teenage phase essentially where he's just kind of a dick, and like, you know, Yondu's like, are you trying to win the gold in the asshole Olympics? Because no one's ever gonna love you if you keep acting this way.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Rocket kind of perceives Yondu that way too, where, you know, he's an outcast, and that like they have their whole thing, and Rocket's super touched at the Ravagers giving him his fireworks party at the end when he, you know, passes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So I think I just really love Rocket's arc more throughout all that. And even Gamora and Nebula, you know, like, we see how that plays out later in movies, but you also get, like, they make up. They're finally sisters. You know, Nebula's like, you always wanted to win. I just wanted a sister. So there's, like, a lot of resolution. There's a lot of, like, connecting, or, like, more personal connecting on that than there is in the first one. You don't get a drunk raccoon screaming at Drax saying he called me a rodent.
That was sad, though.
It was sad, but it was, like, you know, it's more them learning how to work cohesively than it is, like, them actually hashing out whether or not Rocket's a rodent or a trash panda.
Okay, I mean, I guess.
Or a rabbit.
Or whatever he is.
Yeah. Or a Build-A-Bear. 7 is Avengers, the first one.
Okay.
Because I rewatched that pretty recently. You can't... The first Avengers is great. Like, they're such great... Like, I think the circle... Like, the panning around the circle of them, or them in a circle, like, facing off the Chitauri is a little cliche. And so is the whole Hulk, like, I'm always angry Cap. I think that's a little cliche. But seeing them all interact for the first time, seeing Thor smash his hammer down on the shield and, like, all the trees, you know, blow out. Super dope. Hawkeye is a badass, but, like, he's also a mindless zombie.
Yeah.
Like, Hawkeye doesn't get enough cred. He killed so many people while under mind control, and those are all just his normal powers. He's not enhanced or anything. He took out people left and right.
He's not deaf either.
Yeah, he is also not deaf. So yeah, Avengers, pretty great. And also, Loki's just a great villain. Like,
Loki is pretty badass.
Like, they have completely succeeded themselves with every villain in the, like, going up the Avengers movies. Because I loved James Spader, I loved Tom Hiddleston as Loki, and then Thanos. You know, the big bad.
Obviously.
Yeah. 6, Winter Soldier. What was that for you?
9.
Why is that so low?
I don't know, it's just like... I guess I don't really like the, like, government aspect of it.
Why? That's completely up your alley. You love government conspiracy.
I do, but I don't know, I just...
If I told you that the Russians were running the government and we're all about to get nuked or something, I think you would completely be on board and be like, yeah, let me show you these podcasts that fucking confirm
because
it.
I would 100% believe that would happen. So, I don't know, it's just like, I don't know, it's just like...
Or like, you believe the Kennedy thing was an inside job?
Because it is. No, but like, I don't know, like, for a superhero thing, it's just like super predictable that like, oh, of course the government's corrupt and like everyone's working for like the
Hydra.
wrong side. Or yeah, exactly. So it's like, I don't know, like that is like something you expect out of like superhero movies at some point, because like why wouldn't the bad guy like be on the inside? Like it just makes sense.
But its impact on Cap doesn't like do anything for you?
The fact that he just doesn't trust anymore?
I mean, kinda, yeah.
No. Not really, because it's just like there's no like, I mean, I guess like there's a struggle because it's like
his art
from his time.
Yeah.
Like you do trust your government and like they're
not built to fuck you over.
Yeah, but it's just like, I don't know, like it's like Captain America, like of course he's gonna be okay.
I think you're belittling how much of a struggle that was for Cap and what that the ramifications with the Sokovia Accords and stuff like that. But if you say so, man.
Just like all the after effects, not so much the...
I'm with you till the end of the line. Come on, man. When Bucky's beating
Bucky's the only cool part about that.
How dare you? Natasha's pretty dope. I like their relationship throughout that movie, where she's trying to figure out, you know, well, there's weird flirting, but then it's like, I don't want flirting, I want a friend. I love the straightforwardness of that from Steve. And then, you know, that funny Captain America moment where it's like, get your feet off the dash. It's rude.
Yeah.
So I like that, building the relationship. They introduced Falcon. There's so much good in that. They teased the Doctor Strange. I have one very, 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 very big hang up with Winter Soldier, though.
Okay.
They completely spoiled Civil War.
What do you mean?
Because when Zoloff is... I think it's Aaron Zoloff. When Zoloff is... So. Yes, they did. I will prove it.
No, I meant that's the name.
Oh, okay.
That doesn't sound
Well, Zoloff is the end of the name, but I don't remember the first part of the name.
Whatever.
But you know, you want to play a game scene when they're at when they're in the, what is it? When they're at the army base and they go down to...
and the guys in the computer.
Yes. I don't... But what's it called? There's a word for it.
Bunker?
Bunker, thank you. When they go into the underground bunker, he's like, cut off one head, two more shall grow. And he's showing like the Winter Soldier and like all the things he's done. And they show Kennedy. They show the Starks.
Inside job.
The very first job, or the very first second image is you see Tony's parents in the news, and it's like mysteriously died in car accident, or like died in car accident. So it's like when Civil War happened, and you see the car crash at the beginning, and it doesn't show who he's killed, it just shows he got the super soldier serum. I'm like, oh, well, there's Tony's parents dead.
Yeah.
So like it completely ruined that. Like it was a good. It's good if you don't pay attention, but
I think it's just like that was like it's meant to be obvious, like always. Like I don't remember seeing that on the screen, like his parents on the screen, but like when Civil War happened, I was like, yes, of course.
I don't know. I think
I just feel like that's something obvious. Like if you only went in, like
how many times did we see
casually?
Civil War?
I don't know.
We saw like 2 or 3 times.
Probably.
I don't know. Going based off like the audience reaction, which I guess I can accept because it's like not everybody goes.
I think it's just
super deep
in the moment kind of thing where you're like
gasp! Oh my stars and garters.
Exactly. Like you already know it's coming, but you're like the reaction. Like you gotta.
I guess I don't know. That's just like my biggest problem. All right, so we'll rush through the bottom 5 then. Thor Ragnarok is number 5.
Mm-hmm.
Infinity War is number 4.
Okay.
Endgame, number 3. See, we're pretty close on these things.
Yeah. It's only like 1 or 2 off.
Yeah. Civil War is number 2. And
Homecoming is your number 1. Wait, that movie's good, but it is not that good. No, wait. This is where your bias completely shows through because I'm sorry. I love you. Spider-Man is really good. He's a dope-ass hero. But there's no way that that's number 1.
All the John Hughes vibes you get.
There's no way that that's number 1.
Yes, it is. Oh my god. Everybody loved that movie because it was so fucking nostalgic. All the John Hughes vibes. You're telling me you didn't love any of it?
No, I'm not saying that.
Not like any of it. Okay, you know
but
what I mean.
out of all of these movies,
Peter Parker is the most relatable character in all of these, next to Paul Rudd. Yeah, me too, Cleo.
Cleo also agrees with me.
No, she agrees with me.
No, she agrees with me.
She's crying at your hate as Spider-Man.
No, she's agreeing with me. Thanks, Cleo. I appreciate your love and devotion.
Okay, Spider-Man, next to Paul Rudd, is the most relatable motherfucking character in this entire universe. Like, no. And the whole issue of the Grinch. The issue of like identity and stuff that he has, where he's like, I'm not Peter, I'm Spider-Man. And then like at the end, when he's under the entire building and he's like remembering what Tony said, and he's like, you know, the mask doesn't make you Spider-Man, you make you Spider-Man. And he's like, come on, Spider-Man, come on, Spider-Man. And gets up. That is some inspirational shit. And he doesn't let the Vulture die. No villains die in that entire thing. Nobody dies in that because he's Spider-Man and he never lets anyone die after Uncle Ben. So
that's his problem.
But he does it responsibly. He saves Toombs, even though Toombs is doing everything he can to get away. And he proves himself to Happy, which is also kind of important because Happy is kind of a dick that entire movie.
Yes, he is. Listen, I'm not saying that movie is like absolute shit and like doesn't deserve like any like good recognition. I'm just saying
it was 16.
No, it was 12.
Oh, okay.
But I'm just saying, like out of all of the Marvel movies, it's not number 1.
It's totally number 1.
It's not.
I love these movies for the personal relationships among all of them. So
you're biased.
Take the bias out of it.
No, you're still biased.
No, because if
you're always 100% biased.
That's so fucked
Spider-Man
up.
is your number 1 thing. Like, there's no way. There's no way.
But I don't know that Homecoming will be my favorite.
You mean Far From Home?
Whatever. Yes, Far From Home. I don't know if that Far From Home will be my favorite. You know?
Please.
It could be. It could not be. But I loved Homecoming because of like, you get put in this world of superheroes. You get put in this world where you're facing off against Avengers and you're dealing with essentially international lawbreakers. And then you have to go back to normal. It's like con depression, like post-con depression. When you go to a Comic-Con or you go on a vacation and then you know what happens afterwards? Once you get home, you're like, well, fuck, now what? Like, you're just waiting for the next big thing. That entire movie is super relatable for that reason because it's just, you go on that grand adventure, you come home and it's just like, well, now what? It's like that complete drop that he's having to struggle to deal with and figure out, like who he wants to be in this world of big heroes and whatnot. So yeah. Also, for Civil War, it was hard between these two. Seriously, it was.
Can I help you?
Because Civil War was something I never thought I would saw. I never thought I would see.
Saw?
Yeah, I know. I fucked that up. Civil War was something I never thought I would see. Mm-hmm. And you proved me right. You proved me wrong.
Yes, I did.
You called it.
Yeah, I fucking did.
Whatever.
You were like, no, they have to introduce.
They didn't have enough heroes.
Okay.
No, I said they introduced Spider-Man, not Black Panther.
You said both. You said no, yeah.
I said Spider-Man because he was Black Panther took Spider-Man's role in Civil War, in the movies anyway. But Spider-Man was the middleman that would.
Yeah.
Actually, Natasha also kind of took.
Natasha 100% took over Spider-Man.
Yeah, because she jumped sides.
War. Yeah, she was just like, I'm out. Tony, you're wrong.
Okay. Anyway, so let's just an Endgame with no spoilers. Why is it where it is? It was your 4 or your 3?
4.
Okay.
And your 3?
It was my 3.
I don't know how to say that without spoilers.
For me,
it's really good.
There was just a lot of iconic moments.
Oh my god, so many moments.
Like, it completely succeeds Infinity War in making those big moments, like, where you're, like, cheering and screaming and, like, clapping.
And the whole theater is like, hell yeah! Like, at various times throughout the movie. Yeah, it was just, it's, like, the perfect just coming together of the last 11 years of these movies and, like,
it's essentially a giant sequel to everything.
Yes, and it doesn't, like, leave out any specific heroes. It doesn't, like, neglect someone to focus on, like, another character. Like, it 100% just gets everybody.
Yeah. Okay, so now Infinity War.
Fully.
Yeah, so Infinity War was your 5?
5.
My 4. Yeah. Do you want to go first? Do you want me to go first?
About why it's there?
Yeah. I'm also curious on the it's your 5 and Endgame's your 4.
Because Endgame is far superior than Infinity War.
See, but is it because it's a sequel? Like, you don't think... Does the fact that Infinity War leads to Endgame make it inferior? Like the fact that it's a handoff, essentially? Sort of like The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi?
To it?
Where it's like, well, she's holding the lightsaber up to Luke. And this is like, well, he snapped, so now next. What? Yeah. No, does that take away from it?
No, I don't think it necessarily does because, like, you could...
Could you end this Marvel Cinematic Universe with the snapping?
Yeah, probably. I think you could.
So, okay.
They're both... Obviously, they're both together, but, like, I feel like they each could be their own, and then just, like, that's it kind of thing. Like, you 100% need to watch, like, all of these movies to understand Endgame because there's just so much that builds up. But you could, like, just watch it on its own and still get what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, and that's the same with Infinity War. Like, you could watch that on its own and still get what's going on. And if it did just end with a snap and, like, that's it, that's the end of Marvel forever, like, I feel like, obviously you want more, but it's kind of like when you finish a book and it has an open end and you're supposed to, like, figure it out on your own, like, do they live or do they all die kind of thing. It's like that. Like, you make your own ending. So if it was just that, then it is. Okay. And it's a sufficient end.
I've seen some critiques on, like, well, it's the handoff, so that's why it's, you know, under, but, you know.
I mean, like, obviously it's the build up to it. But it's also, like...
It's the build-up, but it's also not.
Yeah, because, like, it is... It's just, it's also its own thing, because, like, throughout all of these years and throughout all of these films, we've been building up to Thanos getting all of these stones and trying to fulfill his life's mission.
It's just that you need to look at Thanos as the protagonist. Like,
yeah, and you get that in Infinity War, and then, like, Endgame is his own completely separate movie for reasons that we know because we've already seen the movie. Yeah. So, that we can't talk about yet.
We still need... I mean, I've seen it twice. I want to see it a third time.
I'm down to see it a third time, but I don't know if we'll have time tomorrow.
To see a third time, even though you haven't seen it a second time.
A second time, whatever, you know what I mean. But I don't know if we'll have time.
Look, you gotta trust me, man. We'll make it work.
Only
seeing
if I could pull an all-nighter tonight.
Seeing Endgame before Comic-Con would be so dope. Because then you go in...
But then I'd also be sad because I'm not doing any Avengers cosplay. Like, they're, like, literally...
I'll go in as Spider-Man.
And I don't have one, so...
I'll carry around a little jar of dust.
Stop. You should have told me to save all my foam scraps.
Oh, yeah, so you could just grind them.
They literally look like ash.
That's funny. What else do we have? I agree with you for the record. Infinity War is its own movie, and honestly, could you imagine if they ended it and then 10 years from now they had picked up with like Endgame? Like they're like, that's it, MCU done, and then 10 years later, you get Endgame.
I feel like that'd be super dope, but like money, so never would happen.
I'm sure Endgame would still make 1.2 billion if they did
No,
that.
yeah, but I mean like they want a constant flow of money. Yeah, they wouldn't let that happen. Come on now.
Okay, so we still have Ragnarok and Civil War to talk about.
We do?
Well, no, we kind of talked on Civil War. We didn't touch on it too much.
Kind of, but not really. Civil War was dope. That was, like, one of my favorite, like, comic arcs, events. I don't fucking know. Event.
Yeah.
It's so dope. Like, in the comics, I'm just like, hell yeah, all of it. Oh my god. And, like, imagine if we had the Fantastic Four. Like, boy.
What? Okay, no, the Fantastic Four, like, yes, but also, we'd just see Sue leave Reed, and I'd be, like, all happy about it, because Reed's such a dick.
Oh my god, he's the worst. But whatever. That's not what we're talking about. But, like, I don't know, it's just, like, Civil War, to me, like, the comics, is, like, is, like, an ultimate, like, thing. I don't know how to explain it. Like, it's
a universe, it's a universal consequence event. Like, it's an event that has universal consequences.
It's like just so big, like how everyone's like Thanos, like the movie, like the end game, like that was a big like thing, and it's like we're all gonna be talking about it for years to come. Like that, like Civil War is that to me. Like when I first read it, I was like, holy shit, like this is fucking amazing. Like this is what comics are about. So like seeing that translate into a movie, like it's way smaller scale obviously, and like not as dire in the movie because like nobody dies.
Well, Rhodey gets crippled.
Yeah, but like he's not dead, and he can. We see that he can still walk. Like Tony figured that out. So like seeing that translated into the movies was like super like amazing, and like if that's all I ever got to see, that would be enough to make me happy. So it's like that's why it's my number one.
Well, it introduced Spider-Man since I'm completely biased.
You are completely biased.
According to the person across the table. No, I agree. Civil War was fantastic, and basically Avengers 2.5, since everybody was in there. I thought it finally caught all of Tony's flaws perfectly, and I don't get how people could be on Team Iron Man. Like, I truly do not, because he is such a dick in that movie.
Me neither. He's, like, the worst.
And
like,
you kind of see Tony, since Vision's... in Infinity War, they talk how Vision's a culmination of Banner, Tony, Ultron, and then whatever the Mind Stone is. You see Tony kind of show in Vision when it comes to Wanda. In that he's not very... He's, like, a little possessive because it's like, I want people to see you the way I see you. But the way he goes about it is completely wrong, in my opinion, because... One, he almost kills Rhodey, and then he wants to incapacitate Clint, and he's trying to keep her on the compound. So
and also, like, can we talk about how, like, Vision was, like, with the Mind Stone in Civil War in an attempt to hit Falcon, but he, like, dodged it? But, like, what if he did hit Falcon? He would be the one that falls to his death and, like, gets crippled or something. So, like, regardless, it's still fucked up. Just because, like Tony...
Just because it hit the wrong side.
Tony doesn't get to be upset at Falcon because, like, whenever he lands, he's like, oh my god, is he okay? And, like, he, like, blasts him away or whatever. But, like, he doesn't get a right to be upset, like, that upset about it, because it would, like, if he didn't move, it would have been Falcon, and would he have had the same reaction if it wasn't Rhodey?
Okay, so I actually have an argument in Tony's defense on this, and it's gonna come off a little weird because I dislike his character so much.
Okay.
In Winter Soldier, Bucky does take out his arm, or his wing. Mm-hmm. And when he's falling, he does have a parachute. It's in his backpack. Okay. Or it's in his jet, whatever you want to call it. And arguably...
his little bird.
Yeah. Arguably, as long as the wings are still attached to him, he could, in theory, glide. I'm not saying it's the safest fall, but he could definitely not crash down in a tank.
He yelled at Vision to shoot with, like, no regard to what was going to happen after.
Yeah.
So that's all I'm saying.
Well, no, Rhodey called for it, didn't he?
I don't remember.
Yeah, because
no, probably, yeah.
Rhodey called for it because Falcon, he's like, I got a bird on my 6. Take him out. And that's after he had just, like, sonic waved Wanda.
Yeah.
Ugh. Also, going back just a little bit, though, to the Spider-Man. His introduction, Black Panther fighting against, everyone, and there's a callback for that in Endgame. What else? Giant Man?
Yeah.
The first time we see Giant Man, he's like, I'm going to do something. It's like, but I might tear myself apart.
Oh my god, and then he was like, does anyone have any orange slices?
Yeah, so, there's a lot of good, like, combat in that I really dug. And then, of course, the ending. Tony being the biggest Andy Bernard, the biggest Wawa baby, or whatever it was.
Oh my god.
Baby Wawa? Is that what it was? Yeah, okay. Being the biggest baby Wawa, where he's like, that's my dad's shield, you don't deserve it, blah, blah, blah. Like, punk. So fucking tired of him.
Yeah. I get that.
Yeah, I think that was it. Any final thoughts on 11 years of Marvel?
What a time to be alive, I guess.
Right?
What a good time to be a nerd and not get beat up for it.
Do you think you'd be into it in the past, regardless?
What do you mean? Oh, like if we were born in like the 80s or something?
Yeah.
Or like grew up?
Back when it wasn't, what it is now? This isn't like a gatekeeping question or anything like that.
I know obviously you're not allowed to do that.
Obviously. Well, I mean, just to clarify, like, I know you like nerdy shit. You're into some... If you weren't into nerdy shit in the 70s or 80s, you'd definitely be like Dale from King of the Hill, where you're like conspiracies, on AM radios, wearing a fucking tin hat.
That's me now. I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, I think so. I
don't doubt you. I'm just, curious.
It's just like your interests are always the same, regardless.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. And I feel like I would have eventually found my way to this if we didn't end up together.
We're soulmates. You'd always end up here.
Okay, my point is, it would have happened regardless. Or I would have been interested in this shit regardless.
So, after going through this list, are you looking forward to spoiling Endgame?
Hell yeah.
We're gonna rewatch it. I'll figure it out. We got this.
You'll find some time.
Oh my god, Prada just scared Juno so bad.
I think that was 6.
Yeah. Anyway. So that's been our list. Your top 5 one more time, my top 5 one more time.
Top 5. Infinity War, Endgame, Guardians 1, Ragnarok, and Civil War.
I don't think we talked about... Well, we kind of talked about Guardians.
Yeah.
It's alright.
Whatever, it's great. Go on.
5, Thor Ragnarok. 4, Infinity War. 3, Endgame. 2, Captain America Civil War. 1, Spider-Man Homecoming. For the everyman.
Yeah, whatever.
I'm tired of you.
I'm tired of you and your trash opinions.
Thanks, guys, for listening. We're going to be doing we're going to go over the first half of Game of Thrones next for tomorrow, and then Saturday we'll do Endgame. So Daisy will hopefully have seen it a second time by that point.
Yay.
So she can get all her thoughts and tears out.
Stop. I'll definitely get all my tears out.
I believe you.
Oh, yeah, boy.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you guys next time.